Kiwi-born hairdresser Paula Brown died in 1996 after a night out with friends on Sydney's Oxford Street.
She tried to walk home. She wanted to get home from where she'd been, but she didn't get there.
When her battered body was found 8 days later, her family was in shock.
Everyone broke up really and cried, you know. We knew that she was dead.
It was just really hard.
Was Paula the target of a sexual predator?
I've just got the feeling that somebody's like watching me.
Such a creep.
My heart's beating. I don't feel safe.
Can our sensing murder psychics put the pieces of the puzzle together?
See, when I look at Hungry Jacks, I'm getting struggle.
There's a confrontation with that man.
And find Paula's killer.
Been beaten. Like bang, 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 beaten.
They beat up.
Giving the family the closure they need?
Paula wants us to know what really happened.
No one has ever been charged with the murder of 30-year-old New Zealander Paula Brown, and the case remains one of Australasia's most intriguing unsolved murders.
Paula was very vivacious, very happy, had a beautiful smile on it, always had a beautiful beaming smile.
Norma has come to Sensing Murder to get answers about what happened to her daughter.
Cheers to Paula.
Cheers to Paulie.
Celebration of her life.
The Brown family are hoping the psychics can connect with the spirit of Paula to see if she's finally ready to reveal the name of her killer or killers. Deb Webber and Sensing Murder newcomers Kerry Marie Callender and Karen Anderson arrive in Sydney on separate days. They are given no prior information about the case. Their only clue is a downturned photograph of the victim. All three psychics make an early and surprising connection to the spirit of Paula Brown.
Soft energy, really soft energy. Feels like a female energy to me at the present moment.
Female, I get a very feminine person with her, so she feels really, really feminine. And she's beautiful. I get a sense of a really beautiful young lady, actually.
I also want to reference the name Paula coming in with her energy.
And I do get a sense that she's probably come from New Zealand and she's come to Australia and she's looking at new things, making her way in the world.
Paula moved to Sydney in 1985, got a good hairdressing job and became engaged to the man of her dreams.
I get David, I get like a love connection, but also getting like best friends.
He is almost like soulmate, love of my life feeling.
Alcohol seems to be a really big part of her life.
I was drinking champagne.
I just said, give me champagne and I'll tell you anything.
Oh yeah, Paula loved champagne.
Party, party. I like to dazzle. Okay. She likes sparkles. How old are you? She says... I think I want to go between 29 to 31. 29 to 31.
Yeah, funny, isn't it? The energy looks like it's older, like in the 30s, but we'll go to 30. She's 30.
Deb is right on the mark. The psychics, who haven't been told anything about the case, have just 8 hours to reveal any new information. They are now asked to go deeper into the night of Paula's disappearance, May 3rd, 1996.
I have to say occasion. I have to say there's been an occasion, like a social gathering.
It's like that party time, party night.
It's a special event. Could be a birthday.
Paula had been celebrating a friend's birthday with dinner and drinks, but had ended up on her own inside the Burdekin Hotel bar.
Somebody just walked along and put something in her drink. And it's like she's possibly unaware.
Police never established whether or not Paula's drink was spiked, but they do know that from then on she was more out of control. She got out of a taxi and was seen weaving her way up Oxford Street towards the 24-hour burger joint, Hungry Jack's.
I'm looking behind myself a lot as I'm walking down the road as well. Like, I'm turning my head and looking behind myself. I've just got the feeling that somebody's like watching me.
So I'm thinking, okay, he was a sexual predator.
My heart's beating, I don't feel safe.
She knew that there was an underlying current of unsafety or like sinister in the area.
A witness came forward who had seen Paula inside Hungry Jack's around 3:30 a.m.
She was on her own and she didn't look like she was aware of her surroundings. The thing that concerned me, though, that there was a group of guys sitting in front of us that were trying to look up her skirt, and that really, I was in shock that, you know, why would they do that with knowing full well that I'm looking at them? And they seemed unperturbed by that.
There was another witness who saw Paula about an hour later being helped across Taylor Square by two men. Their identity was never established. The psychics asked the spirit of Paula to bring her last hours into sharper focus.
Feels though there was a vehicle pulled up.
Something's not right about it. It's sort of freaking me out.
Get in there.
I actually think he forced her into the car.
I've put my hand on the passenger's window, like I'm banging the window.
I'm wondering when she was put into the car, he actually knocked her out. I actually feel as though she was probably unconscious at that point.
All three psychics confirmed that she was bundled into a car and taken to the place where she was killed.
I've just got a feeling like I'm being dragged.
There's lots of struggle going on here, lots of fighting.
She tells me that she was attacked. Someone talked to her. Someone talked to her. She was attacked.
But he keeps grabbing her. I've got hands all over me. He's struggling with her.
He's quite a strong man. She is too weak to defend him off.
Wanted to make her weak. Wanted to make her weak. Made them feel strong.
It's the struggle. She's fighting and fighting, but he's too strong, he's too powerful, and I keep getting the hand over the mouth and wanting to survive, and she just knows she's not going to.
I'm beaten. I'm beaten on my head. Whoa.
He can't control that anger. He's allowing it to take over. And so it looks like it actually tops him over, so you don't know what he's going to do. Very unpredictable behaviour, but very, very angry, dangerous.
Doesn't feel fair. It's not fair. She tells me she likes singing. And she always made the effort. And I also feel that she was quite careful. She was quite careful. Quite careful. It's like me, she liked to go shopping.
When Paula's body was eventually found in bush near Sydney Airport, police confirmed that she'd been beaten around the head and robbed of her jewellery. They believe she had been sexually assaulted. Police had few clues and fewer suspects. That is, until a man made himself known to them.
I'm here to make a witness statement.
On about the 15th of May 1996, Martin Tredgebull walked into Maroubra Police Station where he told the police that the investigators for Paula Brown should be concentrating their efforts on the DCM nightclub, which was a nightclub in Oxford Street, where he claimed that they were involved in devil worshipping and that they were involved in the killing of Paula Brown.
Devil worshipper?
Yeah.
In time, Martin Tredgebull became the police's prime suspect.
Okay, she's given me the name M.
And the letter of M keeps coming up as well for some reason. I'm not sure what that's attached to just yet.
This person smoking, like taking different sorts of drugs, like smoking all the time, different sorts of drugs.
He smokes. And he smokes drugs.
Oh, yeah. Somebody's just referenced, and I want to reference a painter.
The psychics correctly identify that Martin was a house painter and drug user, well known to the police.
He matched the description from the security guard, almost identical. There's a large number of other factors that led us to believe that he was the person responsible for the murder of Paula Brown.
But at the coroner's court hearing, Martin refused to answer questions on the grounds it would incriminate him. With the lack of forensic evidence linking him to Paula, he walked free. After this, he spiralled out of control. In 2005, he died of a drug overdose, which Paula's family believe was suicide.
He probably just couldn't live with himself any longer.
Paula's case remains open, in part because despite the death of Martin Tredgebull, no one is certain he acted alone.
We can't rule out what the security guard saw, that there was a young Indigenous kid with the person who we believe to be our suspect. But once again, there is no evidence to indicate there was more than one person involved, and our criminal profile believed it was the act of one person.
But Paula's family thinks it is more likely that two men were involved.
She was last seen walking across Taylor Square with two guys.
She might have been thinking if there was two men, it might have been better than going with just a single person.
Paula wants us to know what really happened.
It's time to leave the hotel room and see if our psychics can identify the places where Paula spent the last hours of her life. They are not told any details of the locations and are only given a map of Sydney.
Okay.
Where will Paula's spirit direct them?
Okay, there's two locations I want to go to. I've got north of here and south of here, two locations. I feel I started somewhere and went somewhere else. So I feel I want to go north first. Let's go north.
My eyes instantly went to Oxford Street.
Oxford Street's coming in a little bit.
All three psychics on separate days direct us towards Oxford Street.
I can feel her walking down and I feel tipsy and I've had a good night. I'm tired, but she had a fair bit to drink. I still hear voices like friends, so she had been with friends because I keep getting that laughter and the bubbles and the really high fun atmosphere. But at the same time feeling quite exhausted because of the long day that she'd had going to work. There must be somewhere that she was drinking here, but I can't see it. She knows this street pretty good, I reckon, because it feels like she used to come down here a lot. She's been in Australia for a number of years. Oxford, I keep hearing Oxford.
There's a lot of getting a bit of an anxiety feeling coming in a little bit with her energy. I just got a bit of a nausea feeling coming in too. Oh, stomach's all over the place.
I'm getting ringing in my ears, ringing here. I'm getting really bad ringing in my ears, like ringing. I just think it's the energy. The energy's getting quite strong around here. I'm not feeling too well. I'm not feeling good, and I'm feeling confused. That's what I'm getting. I'm very confused. Very confused.
I think she went in there. That hotel.
Deb has correctly identified the Burdekin Hotel. Paula was at the Burdekin from around 11:30 until 2:30 a.m. and became separated from her friends here.
She's around here, definitely. Just with the feeling I'm feeling sick, my stomach is like, I feel like real nausea sort of feeling, like jittery, sick feeling.
I keep seeing the taxi sign, like on top of the taxi. When I've got the taxi, I feel like I might have jumped, was going to get in it, but I didn't actually go in the taxi. It didn't take me anywhere. I don't think she got in the taxi. It's really funny because I feel like I want to drink more. She doesn't seem to get in the taxi on me. She seems to be walking away.
Deb is right. Paula did get into a taxi on Oxford Street, but apparently got out soon after. The taxi driver was never located.
Hungry Jack's. What's that got to do with it?
That Hungry Jack's is standing out, that place there.
between Hungry Jack's and there. That's where I want to go.
None of the psychics have been told that Paula was in Hungry Jack's, but all three are drawn to it.
She's either in Hungry Jack's or she's near Hungry Jack's. But there's definitely wanting to eat.
She wanted to get something to eat. She was hungry. Paula was hungry. She'd been drinking too much. I want to go to Hungry Jack's. I feel there's a problem outside here, not so much inside. It feels like it's more outside Hungry Jack's. There's some sort of altercation, or there's something around this area that something's happened around here.
On a different day, Karen also asks to stop outside Hungry Jack's.
Paula's energy's like coming in. I just want to walk down here. It feels like it's just along here where it's actually quite strong. And I'm sort of like going around this corner a little bit as well. I just need to walk, I'm just going to walk down here and have a look. Something happening along here.
I've seen someone that I know. I know this person. I've seen someone I know, and they want to take me away from here. They're going to take me away. They're going to give me a lift because I'm not feeling too good in my head, and they want to give me a ride. I know I'm doing the wrong thing. I shouldn't be alone. I shouldn't trust this person. I don't want to go with them. I actually don't want to go with them. I'm scared.
See, when I look at Hungry Jack's, I'm getting struggle. And I keep hearing, no, I don't want to go. So someone's asking her to go somewhere, but she doesn't want to go.
He tells me it's going to be okay. He tells me to look after me. He's trying to reassure me that it's going to be fine, but I know it won't be.
There's a confrontation with that man, like her whole energy is off. I'm like, it's too much. For me to walk down there, I'm straining to walk in that area.
I've got a headache again. I've got a sore head. Someone hit her.
I feel there's something around my head here. I feel there's something around my head, but I've been hit or something around my head.
Her head's sore, so they covered her mouth. There was a car. It must have been parked around the corner over here.
Here. This park, this tree, that whole area there standing out. He has grabbed her, and with the situation of her not being able to be in total control.
I sort of feel I'm forced against my will. So I don't stay here.
She's not staying here. This feels like an exit point to me. It is way too strong for just something normal to happen.
Sensing murder psychics Deb Webber, Kerry Marie Callender and Karen Anderson are in Sydney investigating the brutal murder of New Zealander Paula Brown. They believe she was abducted outside Hungry Jack's and driven south in the early hours of May the 4th, 1996.
Her energy was so bad at that point, emotionally horrendous, like really, really bad.
In the hotel room, Deb had seen only one man involved in Paula's abduction. Now she's reliving Paula's final hours. She gets a slightly different message.
There might be two men, because there's a car, but I kept seeing one on a footpath, and I thought it was the fella in the car, but I kept looking in the car to one guy, and I thought he got out, but it seems to be someone else beside me. And with the car, though, there's a struggle, like to bring her into an unconscious state. So someone can't drive a car and knock someone else out.
Paula's family also believe that two men are responsible for her abduction. Deb feels a pull southwards.
After seeing the two fellas with her, it feels like I need to go out to Port Botany.
On a different day, psychic Kerry Marie is also drawn to this location.
So I want to go near the water. I want you to take me to the water, somewhere by the water.
Karen is unable to point the film crew in the right direction, so she is driven to Port Botany. Out of the blue, Deb gets something that had eluded her earlier.
Oh, zebras. She have leopard print on? I just saw a leopard with the zebras and it wasn't there. So I'm figuring there might be something in that. I don't know. But she's skirt. Or was it a zebra print? Something about a printed skirt anyway.
Police were never able to say exactly what happened once Paula left Oxford Street, but our psychics believe she was driven south to Port Botany, near Sydney Airport.
See, I keep getting, pulled into the car, hand over my mouth, and definitely getting that. And it's this struggle, I'm fighting. And there's someone driving, so there must have been two of them.
I feel like I'm as I was driving before, I was getting this strangling around my neck, or this feeling around my neck. So, no, I feel she's travelling in a car. Someone's pulled me, someone's taken me somewhere. Oh, I've got a bang to my head again. I've got a bang to my head here.
Yeah, I actually feel like my head's sore and I'm unconscious, basically, in a back seat right now. But I've got a figure, there's a figure leaning over me. They've been drinking or they've had drugs or something, because I feel as though their heads are spinning a bit. But there's anger, there's one of them that's just that horrifying, scary man. Oh, it's just so many anger issues going on there.
While Deb and Kerry Marie are sensing two perpetrators, Karen is still getting just one.
I get the feeling that he's driving the vehicle and she's possibly in the passenger seat, because just the energy with him is real negative, and with her it's a very strong disorientation of where she actually is or where she's actually going, and the nausea feeling is really strong. Sexually motivated, or that sort of feeling coming in a little bit with his energy with others as well.
Police also believe the attack was sexually motivated.
I can hear them freaking out, like I can hear these voices just... What are we doing? Where are we going? What are we going to do with her?
What are we going to do with her? Oh, fuck, I'm doing with her.
And all I can hear the other fella saying is, calm the fuck down.
The messages that Paula is sending from the other side suddenly overwhelm Deb.
They beat her.
Maybe there's somewhere around here. I just want to pull over somewhere around here. I feel like I've been taken here, but I sort of feel now it's about early hours of the morning. I feel like it's about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. But I feel that I was hurt earlier, but I think something happened here. I swear it all happened here.
Kerry Marie is close to where Paula's body was found. Can she pinpoint the exact location?
I feel her body was found here. I felt that her body was dumped here, or she was put here.
Kerry Marie and Deb have found the location themselves, while Karen has been brought here by the film crew. They now concentrate on the murder.
One fella did the beating, so one fella did the beating. One fella did the beating, one fella. So where'd the other fella go? Where'd the other...
What are you doing?
Oh, I keep hearing. What are we going to do? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? And the other one's saying, shut the fuck up. Ah.
What are you doing? I know what I'm doing.
If someone's taken me up here, I feel that I've been pulled up here, so I can't defend myself, so I've been pulled up here.
I do get the feeling of just their orientation, so she could have possibly still been alive.
I still feel like I'm alive at this point. I don't feel like I've passed.
There's screaming at him.
He's been beaten with something. Like bang, 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 beaten. Banging into my head.
Paula's injuries were consistent with blows from a retractable baton. Martin Tredgeball owned a baton like this. Sensing murder psychics Deb Webber, Kerry Marie Callender and Karen Anderson are south of Sydney, retracing the steps in Paula Brown's murder.
It's like the breath just dies out and then she's gone. She dies, but she dies where she was dumped, where her body was placed.
I think I was lost for a while. I went missing for a while. I don't feel I was found straight away. I'm getting a sense I wasn't found straight away.
She only feels like she was here sort of probably the next morning or the morning after. Like, it doesn't feel like it was a long time. It actually feels days, like I said, not weeks.
Kerry Marie and Deb are right. Paula was not found straight away. We ask the psychics to focus on why Paula was brought to Port Botany. Did the killer have a link to this place?
They brought me here because it's noisy and it's sheltered and it's nowhere too obvious.
Nobody knows where this is. Like, it would take them maybe a while, like, in his mind.
It's so no one could find me. It was nowhere obvious.
So he either lives down here or works.
The main suspect, Martin Tredgeball, lived just 2 kilometres up the road and knew this area well.
Someone's taken my shoes. My bag's gone, had a handbag that's not with me either. I feel there's some jewellery that she's had as well. I feel there's been jewellery. I'm getting a bracelet or something like that, and I feel that's also gone. There's a bracelet or some jewellery's gone as well. That was on her and it's been taken off her. I think she had earrings on that night as well. I think they've gone. I think all the jewellery's been taken off her.
All of Paula's jewellery was taken, and to this day has never been found.
I can't see why he would do this unless just a robber. But I'm thinking because he wasn't sane, he must have been on drugs, and he just... Because I keep going back to the ring. Why would you take the ring? And I'm thinking, well, maybe jealousy or something there, but it's actually just it was really a pointless killing. And I have a feeling like it just feels to me that someone knows who it is. If the police know who it is or someone knows who it is that's done it, they just can't get the proof, and that's what beats me up. I just can't see why there's no evidence.
I sort of feel that the police know who's responsible for this.
I think the police had a feeling, and I think that he's been pulled up once before. I do feel that he has approached women in the past.
And I feel like there's someone that knows something more than what they're saying, and they need to come forward and just say it.
I still get the name Tony connected.
Is Tony the second man who's never been identified?
The sense I'm getting is that there was 2 people that were responsible for this, and I feel one's still here, and I feel one's in spirit. I see one has passed.
Kerry Marie is bang on. Martin Tredgeball died of a suspected overdose in 2005. After 8 hours of connecting with Paula, the psychic's time is nearing an end.
Ask about Mum and I got won't stop searching. I don't know, maybe she's in disbelief, like still a bit surreal that her daughter's gone. But Paula loves her mother. Like, she really does love her mother. Oh, she's trying to rest, but she can't rest. She wants to go back to being the party girl. What people remember her as, that beautiful, smart girl.
She wants to reconnect with her family spiritually, to feel better, to bring her peace, to bring the family peace.
Suddenly, Deb gets a final confirmation of her strong connection with Paula.
Oh, brown grass, brown grass. I saw brown grass on her. She kept saying to me brown, like there was dry grass or dry. That might be the bee. The Brown. Something to do with the Brown. Vibrant, happy, bright, beautiful. Something to do with her. The Brown's got something to do with her. She's bright, she's beautiful, and she's brown. She's Paula Brown.
We are back in Sydney following up on the 1996 murder of Paula Brown. Given what the psychics have revealed, private investigator Grant Coward, who during a long police career was involved in 50 murder investigations, goes first to the crime scene.
And it's obvious that the scene has changed dramatically in the last 20 years, but in essence has the same feel about it, the same scrub, and so yeah, it's a perfect place to dump a deceased person.
Grant now has a better idea of where Paula Brown died. His next move is to find anyone connected to the prime suspect, Martin Tredgeball.
Tredgeball could have spoken to his wife about what had happened here. He may not have, of course, but then again he could have. And so that's where we're heading, to see if we can track down Tredgeball's widow.
The house where Martin Tredgeball lived has long since been demolished, so Grant goes door knocking to see if anyone remembers what became of the Tredgeball family after Martin's alleged suicide.
Whether I can find Tredgeball's widow or not, I'm not sure, but I'm going to give it a good crack. That's going to be part of my job while I'm here. We'll be knocking on doors and making phone calls.
Grant is also looking at the name Tony. During the psychic readings, the name Tony came up multiple times.
Want to reference a Tony?
I still get the name Tony connected. I get the name Tony connected.
Tony was the name Tredgeball offered to police as Paula Brown's killer when he walked into the Maroubra police station several days after the murder.
He blamed a friend of his, a fellow by the name of Tony Woods, for the murder. Tony Woods was later identified unlocated and in fact was in a psychiatric ward at the time of the murder, so he wasn't responsible.
Are the psychics referring to a different Tony altogether?
The Tony mentioned by the psychics has made me think about perhaps the Tony could be a female. And my inquiries have revealed that there was a Tony murdered about 4 months prior to the killing of Paula Brown. This was a Kiwi-born woman. The injuries sustained by her were very similar to the injuries sustained by Paula Brown. It was only 4 months apart, it was in the same area of Sydney, and so there was a whole lot of similarities around that case.
Both murders happened within months of each other. In each case, the killer had targeted an inebriated young woman. It was suspected that both victims had been sexually assaulted. Both had died from similar blunt force head wounds, and both were dumped in beachside scrub not far from each other and close to where Tredgeball lived. Both murders remain unsolved.
So what I discovered was an article by this victim's mother who suggested that Martin Tredgeball would be the prime suspect for not only the killing of Paula Brown, but also the killing of Tony Easton.
Unfortunately, Olga Easton has since died, but Grant does manage to find the victim's older brother, Grant Easton, who agrees to talk about his sister.
She was murdered by someone out here. We suspect. We know who it is, but we've got no hard evidence, no proof.
I've got a Sunday News article, and so that's what you know, pretty much.
We've got that, mate. I've got some other articles that we've managed to find up. Basically, all we know at this stage is she left a party on the beach, and she's gone unescorted up the pathway, and from there she's been attacked, murdered, and that's where they found the body 5 days later. The last known spot that they saw her was on the beach, leaving the beach, very inebriated. They'd done a search, and by 9:25, I think it states, her body was found laying in the sand under the tea trees, 10 metres off the path. The body was naked from the waist down. Had obviously been sexually assaulted. The head was caved in with the leg off a chair, and that's as far as we got.
The similarities to the Paula Brown case are uncanny.
Tony apparently had like 2.5 bottles of wine to herself. She was going to go to another party, which was at her next door neighbour's house, and another male from the party offered to walk her home, and she refused that. He actually became a person of interest in the case. He was totally ruled out, but had she gone with him, things may have changed, but she ended up walking up this path herself, and the rest is history.
Your mother suggested that Paula Brown and Tony's deaths could be linked?
Well, we think they may be. Martin Treble, he was a known local drug dealer, drug user. Tony herself dabbled in drugs. They definitely would have crossed paths, been in the same area, they lived in the same zone. I think that there's a good possibility that it can be him.
The New South Wales Police have never considered Martin Treble a suspect in the killing of Tony Easton. Until new evidence comes to light, both Tony's and Paula's killer will escape justice.
We may never know whether Martin Treble killed Paula Brown, or for that matter, Tony Easton, but I'm sure we've given some solace to the families in terms of what we've achieved thus far.
The Brown family, mother Norma, and Paula's siblings Daryl and Cherie, come to find out what the psychics have revealed about Paula's murder. For the first time, they will see the completed sensing murder program. New Zealander Paula Brown disappeared from central Sydney in 1996 after a night out on the town.
She was always really quite physical, like she was always really, really fit. And she had, you know, legs like a rugby player. Should I that?
She was very low.
Lots of chatter. She must have been quite a friendly, open sort of girl.
Laughing a lot, very social, liked to have fun, liked to have time with her friends.
A very sort of happy, bubbly person as far as that was concerned when she approached people she wanted to engage with.
Just the bubbliness, just exactly how she was, or would have been, or is. Yeah, so, yeah, they were spot on, they were incredible.
Those are the things that I know that Paula would think and feel, actually. Like, I actually felt quite connected.
I think they're very intuitive. I think they're very spiritual people. And I do believe that Paula was with all of them.
Somebody just walked along and put something in her drink.
I'm feeling really high. I'm feeling high, so it's been like I've been drinking. So I suppose there's some sort of drugs as well.
The potential that someone, you know, spiked a drink and all that kind of stuff, it doesn't make it, I suppose it makes it feel like, see, look, it wasn't her fault. You know what I mean?
Paula had told me right from the beginning that she had been drugged. I didn't know whether it was a drink, whether it was the devil worshippers that had injected her, but I now believe it was the drink.
She tells me that she was attacked.
He's quite a strong man. She is too weak to defend him off.
It's the struggle. She's fighting and fighting, but he's too strong, he's too powerful.
I'm beaten. I'm beaten on my head. Whoa. Just knowing she would have been fighting, just feeling, you know, well, like they put themselves within her almost, just being there, that I think was the toughest part, yeah.
There's just a raft of emotions and thoughts and feelings and sort of just an emotional roller coaster, really. You know, and of depth, like, I don't know if I can explain that, like just extreme depth.
Does it feel fair. It's not fair. And I also feel that she was quite careful. She was quite careful. Quite careful.
Makes you, apart from the obvious grief, it just makes you aware of how much you do keep buried, I suppose.
Ask about Mum and I got won't stop searching. I don't know, maybe she's in disbelief, like still a bit surreal that her daughter's gone.
I do believe that Paula was there with Deb, and Paula was telling Deb exactly how it was, how she felt. And Paula knew also that I would never give up, and that came through. I wouldn't have given up, ever.
The sense I'm getting is that there was two people that were responsible for this, and I feel one's still here, and I feel one's in spirit. I see one is past.
Having him die, or having him, the person that may have been responsible, pass away, it does leave you in limbo. Knowing or validating there's a second person that's out there living, breathing, then, maybe there is still hope that we can find that person.
Yeah, the mystery person needs to come to light.
Paula Brown died in Sydney, but the place she loved most was Rakino Island in the Hauraki Gulf. It's where her family have created a memorial seat, and where they come to remember her.
The things that the psychics came up with made me realise that what Paula has told us right from the beginning is actually what happened. So I can sort of put a lot of that behind me now, because the psychics have given me what I really needed to know. I mean, I always knew Paula was there. I knew her spirit says she's very strong. And she made sure to come through to the three of them, just thanks to the beautiful clairvoyance and sensing murder for giving us some peace. I know Paula wants it put to rest, and now hopefully we can move on.